Okay, what is job discrimination? Job discrimination is when an employee is treated badly by a supervisor or boss for something they cannot control, like their age or race. Mistreatment can range from verbal or sexual harassment, withholding benefits, withholding opportunities for advancement, pay, or someone being fired from their job. There are different types of discrimination depending on the work environment, how well a human resources officer works with employees, and issues that are rampant in certain industries. Some types of discrimination could lead to a very toxic work environment, and discrimination at work also occur due to a specific person or a system. So, knowing the different categories can eventually help combat some of the issues in the long run. There are different types of discrimination. Okay, so here types of discrimination. First, gender discrimination. This form of discrimination occurs when an employee is treated badly due to their gender. Though it can occur with men, many women deal with forms of gender discrimination when they are doing their job. This may include being paid less than their male co-workers. Despite doing a similar job, have a similar output or productivity level, and have a similar level of education or work experience. Another type of discrimination is age. Age discrimination is one of the reasons why it is harder for older employees to find a new job. Some workplaces see older employees as less productive, less healthy, and less innovative than younger employees, which is, I think it's not always true. Next is racial or ethnic discrimination. For example, in United States, this problem affects people of color who are entering profession that they were barred from. They may also deal with slurs, being blamed for issues on the job that are not their fault, or even being fired. Incidents like this is one of the reasons why there are very few people of colors in high-ranking positions. Last but not least, a hot issue that is often talked nowadays is LGBTQ discrimination. LGBTQ stands for L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bisexual, T, transgender, and Q, queer or questioning. Members of the LGBTQ community often face harassment at work. For some trans workers, it may be a struggle to go to the bathroom that coincides with their identity. Some of workers are fired or passed over for promotions when they start publicly transitioning. Due to discrimination, so many queer people in the United States live around the poverty line or homeless at some point in their life. This is especially for trans youth who may be rejected by their community members or even their relatives.
I'm Siti Noraim Fasihah binti Amran, matric number 264370. So I would like to talk about implication of job discrimination to human resource function. So the first one is legal consequences. This occurs when the discrimination is not resolved or handled properly by the manager or others company employer. Legal effects may include litigation expenses associated with a company defense against a discrimination suit. If the court finds that the employee is guilty of discrimination, he or she be liable for attorneys, fees, fines, and compensations and damage. The rising cost of employment-related lawsuits is expenses for companies. The human resource management has to settlement costs to resolve a claim can be substantial, but other costs can take a toll on an employer as well. So the second one is a reduced productivity, employers who are discriminated against lost the desire and motivation to work, and these effects can be long-lasting. This can lead to the human resource management to monitor the performance management. When the employers resign because of the job discrimination, the number of employers in the company not sufficient, and it will lead to reduced productivity of the company. So the third is penalty. Some companies must stiff penalty resulting from lawsuits, or if they fail to enforce and other government requirements to limit job discrimination. An example would be affirmative action law that help improve diversity in the job. Companies that work diligently to avoid discrimination and promote a diverse work environment will avoid much of this implication, and they will benefit from having a much more diverse corporate culture. Okay, the last one is employer moral. Job discrimination has physically and emotionally impacts on employer moral. Many employers see job discrimination in terms of financial burdens, but it can have biggest implication on the physical and emotionally health of employers. This happens to affect workers, but it can have a detrimental effects on others for days, weeks, and months. Often, discrimination is not an isolated event. This situation may lead employers to look elsewhere for work, adding to company costs for recruitment and training of new people. That's all from me. Thank you.
So there are 5 strategies on how to prevent discrimination based on HRM perspective. The first one is sexual harassment. Firms are responsible for developing clear policies and efficiency programs to prevent sexual harassment. They need to know their rights or protect themselves if any bad things happen. So managers need to be trained to know what action should be taken if there is a complaint. The second one is guidelines on discrimination because of national origin. A rule requiring employees to speak only English at all times in the workplace is a burdensome terms and condition of employment. Therefore, if an employer believes it has a business necessity for a speak English only rule at certain times, the employer should inform its employees. Third one is guideline of discrimination because of religion. If you are being treated unfairly or bullied at work because of religion or belief, take action as quickly as possible. You could try to telling the person to stop, telling your manager or someone else higher up in the organization, talking to your personal department or trade union. Number 4 is guidelines on caregiver family responsibility discrimination. The challenge for employers is to develop the right mix of flexibility and fairness in the work scheduling, leave policies, dependent care assistance, and benefits. This will promote positive employee relations, recruit and retain a diverse and well-qualified workforce, address and resolve job-related issues, and defend against claims of unfair or unlawful conduct. Last but not least, discrimination because of disability. Your first step in dealing with disability discrimination is to point it out and assert your rights. Your employer may be willing to consider its decision once you have explained your rights. If not, however, it's time to complain more formally. If your employer doesn't handle your complaint to your satisfaction, you should file a charge of discrimination with the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, or your state's anti-discrimination agency.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Aisyah binti Azhar. What can we conclude from this discrimination topic is discrimination is not a new thing in our country, and it can happen to anyone. Discrimination can happen in various terms such as race, gender, religion, age, disabilities, and even you are pregnant, you will get a probability that you will be discriminated. We can simplify that discrimination is an act that distinguishes individuals or places them in different of group due to a certain aspect. Through the introduction of the specific act, any enforcement action can be taken immediately and more effectively to protect the right and welfare of all workers. The Ministry of Human Resources needs to review again the specific employment law provisions relating to the prohibitions of discrimination in employment.